Welcome this week, everybody. Um, I got my ski helmet on here. It's my downhill ski helmet. I don't wear a helmet when I cross country ski. Um, but I was looking for some things to wear, and it was cold today, so I had gone downstairs to grab some light gloves to wear on a little hike. And I saw this, and I was like, there we go. That's what I'm wearing today. Um, so this week's work is going to be a discussion based conversation with another person in bioethics. Um, and if we were doing this in class, I would call it a silent debate. And the reason I'm doing this is one of the things I think that we're missing that is missing from this course overall is that back and forth conversation piece about the topics that we're learning. So last week I asked you to try to talk to one of your parents about it or somebody in your family about it. And I really enjoyed reading that feedback as you guys talked to them. I hope you enjoyed talking to them about it. This week, we're going to have you, or I'm going to have you be talking with another person from the class. So, um, you had signed up for a silent debate, right? After you completed the work last week reading about Dennis's decision and this case study about whether or not this individual should be allowed to have this surgery while not accepting the blood transfusion, right? Whether they should go forward with that. He's a minor. His biological parents have a different idea about what he should do than his aunt, who he's been living with. There's a lot of complicating factors in terms of how his parents have been parents to him and who he sees his loyalty to. He'd prefer to not get the blood transfusion, but the doctors had let him know that that would most likely mean that he would die. Now, before I kind of tell you what happened, what the end result is, because this is a real story, and you can go and find out the results of this story, you guys are going to engage in what's called a silent debate. And a silent debate is a tool for you to have a conversation about a bioethical question, but give you some time to think about what you're going to say. So you signed up, and you'll notice that you're paired up with somebody here. If you have not signed up, you need to go back to last week's work and get yourself signed up. And as soon as you do, I'll give you a link. But once you sign up, you'll see that there is going to be a link that appears here. And if you click on that link, you're going to find a blank right now Google Doc that with your name and your partner's name at the top. And there's a couple, this document is editable by you. So both you and your partner can type on this document and I can type on this document. And this is going to be the page on which we record your silent debate. So here's how a silent debate works. The bioethical question that you're going to be asking, and you could write this right at the top of your page. Whoever's the first one to go in could just copy this in there, is should Dennis be allowed to reject life-saving medical treatments? Boom. Should he? Should he be allowed to do that as a minor with parents who are in? And your job is going to be to try to give voice to a particular ethical approach or a particular bioethical principle, right? I'm trying to maximize benefits, minimize harms. I'm trying to support autonomy, right? An individual's right to choose. Like, what is your approach that you're going to take? Okay. Um, Now, the rules down here are more for when I run this in class. So there's no talking once the silent debate starts. Well, of course, it won't be. You're going to be doing this digitally. Um, you need to decide whether, or you need to determine whether you're making an argument for or against the issue. So the partner A, so if you go back to your page here, that is the person in the first column, right? Your argument is going to be that Dennis should be allowed to refuse the transfusion. He should be allowed to reject this life-saving medical treatment. The other person's position needs, partner B needs to take the position that he is not allowed, that he should not be allowed to reject this life-saving transfusion as and that he should get the surgery but also be transfused with blood. Um, those are your roles. It doesn't matter whether you actually agree or disagree with those roles. You'll take on that person's role and you'll try to imagine, well, what bioethical approach would they be taking? What values would they be talking about? Which facts would they focus on, right? And the if so you're going to basically kind of have a back and forth, right? Where one person is going to type out a statement or a belief, a description, and then the partner B is going to respond. So as you write, you need to start your writing with your name. And this is what it's going to look like. So student one, student two. I don't know who is going to be on each document, or everybody on each document is different. So you should write your name. If you're partner A, you're student one, you're going to start. If you're partner B, you're student two, you're going to follow, and you need to put your name down, right? And this is an example of a silent debate that that I just have copied here for you to look at. So, right, so student one, this might be an argument about school uniforms. There should not be school uniform because it does not allow students to express their individual personality, right? So instead of just saying there shouldn't be school uniforms, there's a reason why, right? And in this case, I think they're talking about autonomy. Student two is students are in school to learn, not to express their personality. So student two directly responds to the argument that student one made and can make the counterpoint, right? And then student one goes on to say, part of school is to figure out who you are, and lack of ability to express personality does not help. Student two, students learn to like everyone else when it comes to to be like everyone else when it comes to fashion. There should be lessons that help students figure that stuff out, not clothing choices. Student two then responds with what they believe there should be. There should be a school uniform because it makes it less obvious the difference in how much money students have. So that's a different argument, right? Now we're arguing about uniforms based on how much money, about the appearance of how much money you have, rather than on an individual's personality. So you notice they drew a line because the topic changed, okay? So I'm going to be assessing this document at the end of this week. So over the course of this week, you and your partner need to go in, and I need to see a rigorous debate between the two of you. I don't need either of you to win. I just need you to talk to each other using the voice of somebody else, right? And keep in mind that you don't have to believe what you're typing. What I want you to try to be able to do is get into the mind of a person who believes that thing and make the argument as if you're them, right? So you're sort of acting. You're sort of saying, like, how would this person make an argument? Okay, that's really important. You're not just arguing your own personal beliefs. You're arguing as somebody who would argue that way. And the ability to get in someone's mind is an important skill, because it allows you later on, if you're having an argument with somebody, a bioethical argument, and you can get in their mind, you're better able to also change their mind, right? I think like in our society today, that's an important skill, not just changing people's minds, but actually being able to like get into the mind of somebody else, to empathize with their way of seeing the world. Okay. So how are you going to do this, right? Well, obviously you can both go into the document and type whenever you want. So partner A, you should start off right away with a statement supporting that that you think he should be allowed to reject the treatment. And partner B, then you can respond to their statement, maybe make a counter argument of your own. You guys could also choose to enter your contact information onto that sheet right away, and that would allow you guys to sync up when you do it. So if you say, so you could either just randomly check in on this document throughout the week and keep adding as it goes, or you could say, hey, let's get together on this day at this time. We'll both be on the document together, and we'll just take turns typing onto it until we've completed the debate. Now, how will you know when the debate is over? Well, here's what I need. This is a little bit tough. You guys can certainly do more than this if the argument is flowing. I don't want you to cut off a discussion like right in the middle, but at the same time there needs to be an end point. Otherwise it just becomes circular. Because I'm not asking you to change your opinion, I'm asking you to make your argument. So I need each of you to write at least 5 statements or responses, right? So there'll be at least 10. That is assuming that each of those 5 is kind of a multi-sentence thought, right? It's your idea, why you agree or disagree, maybe a piece of supporting evidence. If your statements are just like, no, I think he should be able to get what he wants, that doesn't count as its own. So you'll need to have some more arguments if you'd like to meet the full requirements. But assuming you kind of have a couple of sentences in each statement, maybe making your claim, maybe making a counterclaim, maybe supporting it with some evidence from the case study, like, no, his parents had abandoned him, they should lose the right, da da da, then you have fulfilled the requirements. If you have questions for me, please message me, or stop into my office hours, or sign up on the sign up sheet to talk to me personally. And I hope this goes well for everybody.